Welcome to the Underground.
Turn me up, bitch!
My Little Underground with Peter A.
You don't want to hear anything.
Sweet. Yeah, we're good. Oh, cool. Level 26, My Little Underground. I'm Peter A. and Ali Melendez
What's
is hanging out
up?
with me today, and she is a superstar media personality.
please.
And we'll run down like your entire resume, but Ali, got to tell you, you can listen to My Little Underground, all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
That's right.
Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, and anywhere else that you listen to great podcasts like My Little Underground. And I don't know if you know, Ali, you can follow the show at MLU Pod, Twitter, Instagram. And you already follow me at Peter A
Of
Radio,
course.
Twitter, and Instagram. And Ali doesn't follow everybody. She charges for likes. I'm telling you. About 10 she liked 2 of my photos for free.
Yes.
Because she likes me. But she charges like 30 grand for a DM, so don't be
Yeah,
you gotta
30
be
grand, 30
yeah.
grand. Listen, if you're going to Venmo me first, I'll open it, but I might leave you unread if it doesn't go through, okay?
Listen, I was kidding. But she's serious right now. She's very serious.
No, all are welcome.
But yeah, we're here at the beautiful Shelter Island Sounds in the city. Love this space. And we're so close to Penn Station. I tried to take the subway this morning because the route to get here is the route I take to go to work. So when I got on the subway platform, I'm like, where's the one? Where's the one at? I see the 2, I see the 3, and this one train is going express, but it's going to skip this stop.
Love the city
So,
transportation.
Yeah. So I just walked, and then I told Allie, listen, if you're going to get here, just walk. Forget the subway. And usually when I tell people, oh, let's just walk, everyone's like, oh, I don't want to walk. But today was a
Not
perfect
bad
day.
at all.
Yeah.
And I like walking. I'm not a complainer.
No.
I definitely like moving my body and walking, being active, especially as the weather turns nicer. So
Yes.
all good.
I'm so happy to have you, Allie.
I'm
I'm
so
really
happy
excited. Yeah, because the last time we hung out, we did a little radio show over at Stony Brook. But I feel like, like doing live radio, it's cool. But time is not on our side. But now with the podcast, I always thought, man, why didn't I have Allie on my podcast? Because we could just talk,
I love it.
and we don't have to worry about like getting out or someone else is coming on. We can say whatever we want.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The FCC is not knocking on our
Right.
doors. You know what I'm saying?
That's always the best. But it's nice that you asked me to be on that as well as this. I feel so important, and I'm not, but I feel so important. It's great. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Let me see. Let me just check my schedule. Literally,
Oh, yeah.
Literally always
Oh,
free.
wow.
Literally always free. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll squeeze you in. I got nothing else but like Game of Thrones later tomorrow night. So that's it this weekend.
Yeah.
It's all good. I do have work later, so that makes me feel like I actually am a person who has things to do.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm chilling. I love it. And I
So you
love
did a
talking
Long
to you.
Island Nets thing yesterday,
Yeah,
right?
so actually that happened to be in Stony Brook. So while I was there, I was
Yeah.
thinking about the radio show we did last year, which I can't believe was a year ago
Yeah, it was like in June.
already. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
right
almost.
after Father's
Creeping up.
Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's nuts. But yeah, so I was there twice this week. So I am the host for the Long Island Nets, which is awesome. They're the NBA G League affiliate to the Brooklyn Nets. They are fantastic. They were #1 in the Eastern Conference. We took it all the way to the very, very end. And by that, I mean we were Eastern Conference champs, and then we went into the NBA G League finals. And we won the first game. So that was at Stony Brook on Sunday. And then they played in Houston on Tuesday. We lost that. So it was whoever won last night's game won it all. And unfortunately, we did lose. But I'm so proud of the season we had. And just to be able to say that we made it as far as we did as a team makes me unbelievably proud. And, I mean, I don't know. Like, so many of the players are either two-way contract players. Some of them are, being traded to actual NBA major league teams. And I'm so proud to get to know them as the season progresses and what they want in their personal life. And they're just killing it. So I'm really happy that that's been a thing. But yeah, that was at Stony Brook because the games were at NYCB Live.
Yeah.
And basically they were like,
Well, that's Uniondale.
Yeah, in Uniondale, Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're booked. Like, we got concerts, we got the Islanders games. Like, if you want to be in the playoffs, you got to find a college or something to play at. And we're like, okay. so we played at Stony Brook, the Federal Island Arena, and it was beautiful. So it was good. It was a nice, more intimate environment, but it was good.
So what's your job as host? I was under the assumption that you were like a sideline reporter.
So I am the in-game host, so it's more entertainment-based. It's more hyping up the crowd. It's more getting in there on court during the timeouts and the breaks and being like, hey, guys, make some noise. Let's do T-shirt toss. We're going to do an on-court contest right now. I have done interviews with the players, and I'll do interviews with the kids dance team, the team hype, some officials. I've done interviews with all of our team, at least. But for the most part, I'm not heavily interview or reporter style based when it comes to the Nets. I'm more so just entertainment. I'm the face, kind of, and lots of no, I'm the face, but I'm like the face. When I'm there. And I've hosted 2 games for the Brooklyn Nets. So I'm the backup for when their in-game host, Allie Love, can't be there. So she's fantastic. She's been like a mentor to me this whole time. And so that's what I do primarily. I follow, obviously, basketball and all sports. I know what's going on, but I'm not heavily into the reporting aspect of it.
Yeah. So you're a well-dressed MC.
Yeah. So, and then people are like, how are you allowed to wear high heels on the court? I'm like, I don't know, but it's in my job. So if I ruin the court, not on me. That's all I got to say.
Do you have to dress a certain way when you do that? Okay.
Yeah. So you have to kind of be, you're the face. You're being the person who's out there, who's representing the brand. So it is family friendly. Obviously, I'm dressing nice but professional. I have to wear heels and usually colors that are like the Long Island Nets. So red, white, and blue. I wear a lot of black, red, white, and blue and stuff like that. And Brooklyn Nets is, black and white. So that's the wardrobe I follow when I host there.
So what's your interview style, since you don't do a lot of analysis or reporting as far as the sports is concerned?
So I don't do it too much with NBA, as you know, but I do it with Ali Answers. I do it with other platforms like Indie Music TV. I do heavily, a lot of interviews, I guess I could say, not interviewer, interviews. My style is
like when you're interviewing the players. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Typically, like on a sports game, the interview would be very like analysis driven, like how many points you scored. You know what I mean?
No. So when I do it, I try to keep it fun. I try to ask more personal questions and why people want to know about them as a person. Besides wanting to know them as an athlete, there's so much more to people. I like to know their favorite food. Dazan Musa, he's from Bosnia. So I want to know what's different about your culture there and growing up there that you try to remember or bring back, while being and living in the States, So it's good to know some cultural differences as well as some things that maybe they did at home. And Mitch Creek, he's from Australia. Now he's on the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was just traded, actually, midway into the playoffs, which was a little nuts, but hey, it happens. But yeah, he was there last night supporting us as well. Again, that's someone from a completely different walk of life who's now being integrated into what we do as Long Islanders and this whole Long Island-based team. And yeah, it's basketball, you know what you're doing, but it's a different culture that you're living in now. So it is very cool. I try to get to know, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite memory growing up? Not in the States. What's your favorite memory growing up? Some people are from different states. So maybe some things that helps us to get to know them as a person and not just an athlete with stats. So make it personal.
What brought you to sports?
You know what? I gotta be honest with you, Peter. I did not know that I would fall into sports. Growing up, I didn't even follow sports, really. I come from all girls. Like, we just were into, e-news, entertainment news, things of that sort when we did watch TV and reporting. But I did do track. I was a dancer growing up. I've been a runner for as long as I can remember.
Me too.
I have a competitive nature. Even though I'm one of 3 girls, it's funny because we all have that. So we're all very competitive, but with the age differences, we're not really competitive with each other. So it's good. My little sister just turned 14. So she's a competitive dancer. And now she's on the volleyball team. She's, doing all these things. So we weren't too into following sports, but we all kind of had that active background. And then when I went into college, I knew I wanted to study broadcasting, and that kind of led me into some journalism stuff and some, television stuff. So I did as much as I could with I guess all those outlets. Radio I tried for a little. I dipped my feet in television. I did I was really into food, so I tried doing some food reporting, So things like that I always just wanted to dive as much into, but I was never closed off from sports. I just didn't dive into it. So when I met my boyfriend, he's crazy about sports. So I was like, well, it'll help my relationship, if I know sports and I really follow sports. So I got into it just because being a good girlfriend, being a good partner, and supporting him and his passions, I was like, oh, I could definitely make this a passion of mine as well. And when I started to learn more about sports and then go to these games with him, I found myself getting really into it, like genuinely from a fan's perspective. And then knowing that I had this background of broadcasting, journalism, reporting, TV, radio personality, whatever, I was like, I could definitely make something out of this. So when the Long Island Nets came to Long Island, because originally their first season was actually in Barclays and they didn't have a set host, I saw that on LinkedIn. I was like, you know what? Let me just go for it. I have this background. I do know sports. Let me see if they're into me. So I did that. I went back and forth a couple interviews. I actually went on a community events with the team, interviewing people on the team, as well as some people in the community, local Long Islanders, and they liked my style. They liked that I was able to really get to know a person and make things light and have a good time with it and really listen to people. And they were like, yeah, we like you. And my boss literally said, I don't know what it is about you, but I like you. I'm like, I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it and run with it. And just finished up a successful second season with them. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a growing process. I love that we see fans who are coming back, with more people. And we're seeing the arena grow in numbers, and really, it's such a grassroots feeling because they're all Long Islanders and they're all just growing with us from the start. And I don't know, it's just this I really feel a part of it from the beginning. And so it's a great sense of appreciation and pride as a Long Islander to be able to work with them.
So do you feel like you're more into sports since not only since you met your boyfriend and since you've been working with the Long Island Nets? Yeah,
I do think so. Not only that, but because Brooklyn Nets and now Long Island Nets are on Yes Network, I also before I even worked with them, I was into Yankees, but now that Yes Network's involved, I'm like, I know a lot of people from Yes Network, so I'm going to Yankee games all the time, and I'm like, I'm getting to know more people, and that's wonderful. I mean, hopefully, I could dive into that one day and do more with sports because I absolutely love it. And I feel like I do want to not break away from the entertainment aspect of it, but I do feel that I would love to be a reporter more for it because I follow it and I know the stats and I know all that. And I feel like that's a challenge that I would like to accept, having my competitive nature.
Just for basketball? What other sports do you follow?
No, I'm saying all sports. So definitely Yankees. Now that it's baseball season, I'm super excited about it. So I'd love to maybe get my feet into that as much as I can. Right now, I'm just a fan. But if there's ever an opportunity that opens up, I would definitely follow that and see where that could take me. Because anything that is seasonal that doesn't affect me and the Nets would be awesome. So there's the Cosmos soccer team that I'm hopefully, I can't say too much, but hopefully might have the opportunity to work with. So, I am definitely more into sports that now that I kind of have to be around it with work, but I do love following it as well. So,
would you get into more of you would leave the hosting entertainment side to do a lot more maybe commentary?
Yeah, I do think so. I'm getting more comfortable learning being on headset, and now that I have the earpiece, I didn't have it last season. So now that I have it and I could hear all the calls and I could hear all the stats and I could hear.
So you would do play-by-play?
Yeah, I understand that. So it's like that's something that I'm gaining confidence in. If the opportunity ever comes knocking on my door, I would happily accept it. So I do love and totally love being immersed in the entertainment aspect of it. But if there's ever an opportunity to take my career, more into the serious side of things, that's something I would accept and love to be a part of too.
Well, color commentators add more like entertaining flavor to the broadcast anyway, so that would be a good outlet for you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, anyone hiring? Let me know. Yeah.
Do you listen to sports talk radio at all?
Sometimes, not really. I'm actually going to admit that when I listen to a podcast, and it's My Favorite Murder.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of it. Not sure. I mean, I don't know if you have actually, but it's pretty popular.
I listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I love wrestling too. My friend actually has a podcast, Mike Janela. It's the Mike Janela Show, and I was happy to be a part of that as well.
You're a wrestling fan?
Yeah,
Hold
I am
the
a
phone.
wrestling fan.
Hold the phone.
Yeah, no, I like
Sweet.
wrestling, and I actually grew up watching wrestling, but no one in my family did. Like, this was a love that I completely took on by myself, that I would just fully immerse myself in, like Monday Night Raw. Like, I love the girls. I thought they were so, I don't know, just something about me as a young girl with sisters, seeing these strong women like being so empowering and like showing how strength is sexy, and I was like, I'm so into that, My family member is a wrestler. She is what's her name, Loca or something. So she was kind of a famous wrestler back in like the 90s, early 2000s. So I kind of had that from that love and appreciation from just having a family member who was immersed in it.
What's your background? Where does the Melendez name come from?
Puerto Rico.
Me too.
Yeah. See?
Wrestling is very popular with Latinos.
Yeah, for sure. And she's Spanish too. She's fully, I think, Puerto Rican, and I don't know her mix, but she's from definitely my Spanish side of the family. And it's just so funny because we're all very like, that side of the family's into it. But growing up, when I would watch, Monday Night Raw and Thursday night all the time, and I would like
SmackDown.
SmackDown, and I'd call my friend and be like, "Are you watching wrestling?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm watching wrestling."
You still watch now?
We would talk about it. Not as much. I still follow some of the lines. Of course, I got a little bit girlier when I grew up, so I followed like, Total Bella, Total Divas, and the Bellas, and all that stuff. So I think they're really awesome.
Well, women in
too.
wrestling, especially in WWE now, is
they're badass,
man.
and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, and I guess I've just always been a feminist and didn't know the word until younger, but being like, wow, until I got older. But when I was younger, I was just like, wow, this is so badass. Like, if they can do this and, like, really make a name for themselves in this industry, and, anyone could really do it if they have the grit and they have the passion to do so. So
you could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't know if I'd want to be a wrestler.
No.
But...
Like, you could be. I can see you being a ring announcer.
Yeah, definitely.
You could do. I can see you doing color.
Yeah, for sure.
Backstage interviews, because everything you're doing with the Nets, that happens in WWE.
Yeah, like Kathy Kelly, she does a lot of the stuff for them, and I follow her, and she's just so cool. Like, I just love everything she does and her style.
She's one of my favorites there,
Yeah.
as far as like the backstage interviewers. So,
Yeah. She's really, really cool. And so following her and seeing what she does is kind of, it's empowering, because I do what she does on a smaller scale, and I've noticed a lot of her interview skills, or the way she, talks and has these conversations with the wrestlers, is what I do when I have those interviews with people. We have a very similar style, so I'm like, it's cool. She's doing it on a larger scale, and I'm doing it. It just makes me feel like I could get there. So
you can.
Yeah.
You should do it. I'm telling
empowering,
you. Yeah,
for sure.
So I was at WrestleMania last week.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
At the Mets Stadium?
At the MetLife. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So doors open at 3:30, right?
When were you there?
What do you mean? When was I there? Last Sunday.
No. I'm saying, like, I assumed you were gonna say I was there at like 11:30 just to make sure. Like,
no, I got there at
2:30.
I got there at 2:30 because, like an idiot, I took public transportation.
Oh, man.
Because my thing was, oh, I don't want to get stuck in the traffic after the show because it's a big stadium. It's not like leaving Nassau Coliseum or nothing like that.
Right, yeah.
So I got there at like 2:30, doors open at 3:30. But while I was waiting to get in, I had to use the bathroom so bad.
Oh, that's the worst.
I chugged like 2 things of Monster and a big thing of water because I didn't know if I was allowed to bring that stuff in.
Right.
So when I got to security, I got to security so fast. I thought I was going to pee myself in front of everybody. So after they checked me and all that stuff, I told them, like, where's the bathroom? Right over there. I sprinted. I ran. And there was a line outside the bathroom.
Oh,
I'm like,
even for the
God.
men's room.
Yeah, it was a line. I'm like, this line's moving fast.
Okay.
Oh, man. I thankfully, I didn't pee myself or nothing like that.
Yes.
But I was this close.
Thankful for those moments.
But, okay, the show happened, and I got out of the building at 12:30 a.m. 12:30 a.m. I was here till 2:30, 12:30 a.m. Didn't get on the bus till 1:30. So I missed the train, the 1:14 train, So when I got to Penn Station, I had to stay there till 2:59 in the morning.
That's my nightmare.
Oh my God. And you were telling me that, okay, you left you had to stay till, 11:30 with doing the net stuff. I wish I got home at 11:30. I wish I left at 11:30.
Oh my God, dude. That's like, and for anyone who doesn't know, like, okay, so there's this weird time like gap between when you're going to Long Island and it's like you could take a 1:30 train, or you have to wait for like the freaking 3:30 train or something like that. Why isn't there like a train on the hour every hour throughout the night? Like if I'm going out and I want to go to a bar, but then I gotta go back to Long Island, it's like I can only stay to this bar till like 1:00 in the morning or like 12:30 because I gotta catch this train, or I have to stay so late and stay till 3:00 in the morning just so I could catch that next train. Why is there such a big gap? If anyone knows that answer, let us know.
I don't know, because
it's just annoying.
I have no regrets. I had an amazing time.
I know, of course.
And it was the first time.
Some nights are just like that. It just be that way sometimes.
I know.
You know.
And it was the first time the women main evented WrestleMania, the big show. It was amazing. It was so great. Seeing Becky Lynch win, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But I was so tired. It was 12:30. They didn't go on until 12:00. I was mad because I'm like, Vince, why? Because you know what happened? The WWE didn't tell New Jersey Transit or the Port Authority, whatever, that the show was running late. So they couldn't staff extra people. So people were stranded for hours waiting for an Uber and stuff like that. But I was lucky because the buses weren't running that terrible. Yeah. And it's not too far of a ride from Port Authority. But I have no regrets. It was still a great time.
Yeah, of course. But like you may just need to catch up.
Yeah.
On sleep a couple days after events like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had to go to work the next morning too. And I got home at like 4.
Oh my God.
I had to catch the 6:58 train.
Get out.
Yep. I still made it. to work. I was tired and I was sick as a dog
at
all
that
week.
point, I think I would have just slept like
on
in
the train.
Penn.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have just straight up went to work at like 3:00 in the morning.
But I was
I
like,
gotta be here in 3 hours, so.
I had like wrestling T-shirts on. I'm like, I can't go to work like this. I had to go home and like sleep for an hour. But yeah.
Oh man, hey, it's worth it.
But
nights
more
like
of
that
the
are
story is I see you doing a lot of WWE announcing stuff. Definitely,
that could
definitely
be cool.
speaking.
We'll see. You know, who knows? But there's so many opportunities. I mean, luckily, living this close to the city and having this right at my doorstep basically is so awesome because I have so many opportunities and different opportunities. You know, it's like I don't have to just fall into local news. You know, I could do there's so many different things in New York City that's like entertainment reporting for this or like sports reporting for this, different podcasts that I could maybe co-host or
do one. You should do your own.
So I actually really want to. And me and my 2 best friends just talk about it, but there's no action involved. Like so many people who make these great plans and they don't put them forward into action, and that's definitely something that I need to work on doing personally. But yeah, we want to do that so badly, and we have ideas, and I'll talk to you about them after. So run them by you because clearly you have a very successful podcast here, darling.
I wish.
So it's cool.
Sponsors better come knocking then if I'm so successful. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said earlier, tying it back to these 2 women based out of California who they have. The My Favorite Murder. That's a podcast I'm constantly listening to because growing up, I didn't even know how into true crime I was. But I was always so into... Let's start with this. My favorite show growing up was Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Why was it Scooby-Doo? I was so into the ghosts and so into the mystery and like, like finding the clues. I love the crew. I'm like, I'm so into Scooby-Doo. And I feel like that was my earliest memory of knowing that I was super into crime and mystery and all that stuff. And so I find listening to these women who combine that with comedy is fantastic. It's genius because anytime they're telling a story that's like gets super dark, it's like, okay, well, they're gonna just bring it right back up with something that's hilarious and whatever, and it's super genuine and there's no filter. And I feel like that's how everything should be, every podcast at least. Like, I like, obviously authenticity is super important. So yeah, so that's a great podcast. I don't listen to too many sports ones. My boyfriend constantly has it on the radio. I'm always listening to things when I'm with him, and I'm basically with him 24/7 on the weekends. So it's good. I get my daily dose on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, you do.
Of sports radio. So it's wonderful.
Yeah.
So definitely want to get to know more podcasts, and I listen to the happiness one too sometimes when I'm feeling like I just need a little extra positivity in my life. So it's all good. Well, I'm into, wanting to cultivate my own presence on a podcast platform. So we will see where that goes and if that happens.
Podcasting is just having an idea and being consistent with an idea. That's it.
Right.
If you love flowers, you got to be able to talk about flowers weekly or monthly or whatever it is. That's all it is. If you like, the beautiful thing about podcasting is like it's a medium that's yours.
Yeah.
So you control it. You control the content. No one's telling you have to read these PSAs unless you have sponsors and you read certain sponsors or commercials or whatever. But other than that, there's no PD knocking out your door saying you got to say this, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to talk about that. You can do whatever the fuck you want. So if you're a creative person, podcasting would be your strength.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it is.
You know what, though? And as a creative person, I can definitely say that about myself because I have all of these ideas and I write them down.
You got it.
I write them down and I think of like funny skits sometimes because I do have a comedic background too. Like I did improv, I did acting and all that stuff. And like I'm constantly thinking of these ideas that are great. And then there's always this thing that's stopping me from putting them out there for some reason.
What is it?
And I feel like, it's just myself.
Yeah,
it's literally just me. It's just me. So I'm finding that like I have to push myself to be more, get myself out of my comfort zone and embrace change and use everything that I know because I know editing. I know videography. I know I have all this in my background that I know I can do. And I'm just like, what's stopping me? So there are certain things that I'm like, okay, I'm like this creative person. So basically, I put this all together, and that's when I formed Alley Answers.
Yeah.
So,
I was just about to ask you about
yes. So it's like, what
You're
is
running this
stopping
interview,
me?
not me.
I don't know what's stopping me. No, I just thought of like, what am I transitioning into right now? I'm like, well, it's not stopping me. I got to get it together. I got to figure it out. Too many people are too comfortable with where they are, and I don't ever want to be that person. So I started Alley Answers, which is fantastic.
What is it?
And it is the show that I actually have on indiemusic.tv. Now, Indie Music TV is this international 24/7 streaming platform. It is based online, but it's basically the only, or at least the first platform that fully embraces having independent artists come on their channel, and it's free for them to upload music that they can't get out elsewhere because they're not signed or they're not, being recognized the way that they should be. But they're super talented and they're making their own videos and they want to make a name for themselves and they're serious artists, So they are this incredible platform that has so many different shows under their umbrella, and so many of them I've been able to host. So I'm really immersed with this company, and I love Indie Music TV, so definitely want to shout them out as much as possible. You guys have to follow them if you care about seeing or hearing talented people, regardless of if they're signed or not. Definitely head over to that platform to check them out. But yeah, in college, I found them. They found me, sort of a thing, through people. And they were like, we're looking for a host to host this show about independent artists. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm in. So from there, I grew with the company. They loved my work and my creative ideas behind, other TV shows that they wanted to produce, that I wanted to produce. And then when I pitched them Allie Answers, and I was like, I want to answer questions that millennials care about. Like, their demographics are basically millennials. It's 18 through 35. It's actually 60-40 male to female ratio, which is kind of surprising because with artists and singers, you tend to get more female, but it's great. So I love it, and that's the demographics I'm going after, just because I want to stay true to the person that I am. You know, I'm 24. I fit right in there, and I care about what's new in the fitness world. I care about like trends that people are talking about and why they may or may not work, you know? So I wanted to explore that from a millennial standpoint, because so many people explore that from like an older demographic, or they put it on the news, or they put it on linear TV, and it's cool. I'm not knocking that, but there's not enough, I feel like, content from an original perspective. At least you can never have enough. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, let me see what I can do with my background. Let me start Allie Answers and pitch it to indie music to put it on, because I have this great relationship with them and this trust with them, and they know what I'm capable of. And let me see if I could produce my own show. So produce it, host it, you know, get an editor, hire a videographer, because it just makes my life easier, you know, when I'm hosting. So to have someone kind of do all the camera work for me. So I just did this completely on my own, and we pushed out our first episode that is finally in the ending stages of editing. So it's really to the point where I want it to be now, and I'm so excited about it. It should be out this week, actually. So my concept around the show is I take a music artist that is unsigned, someone that is on the rise, though. So, you know, someone who easily fits into the indie music TV family and wants to be heard but doesn't have the platform. So I give them that platform that they definitely deserve, and they kind of share their music with me. And let's say they want to bring me to their favorite bar that has bacon flavored shots. That's nuts, right? But okay, let's say that's what they want to do, and they want to talk, and we're going to try a bacon flavored shot. We're going to go to that place. I'm going to explore that place with them. I'm going to talk to them and do like a fun kind of interview, but we're also going to take a shot, and we're going to showcase why, you know, maybe millennials care about trying new alcohol, or maybe like why millennials care about listening to this music, or I don't know, something that's kind of related to the musician, as well as a cool new thing that I want to feature. So that's what we did.
So it's a music-based show.
Yeah,
or you're just picking out like different people of interest.
Yeah, so I have like a kind of a co-host every time that has that independent artist, you know, background, because that's how we keep it related to, you know, indie music, which is the channel it's being streamed on. And we just explore new things, and I'm answering questions that maybe their fans want to know about them. I'm answering questions that, like, you know, what's the coolest new workout where I don't actually have to move my body? And then I found that out. It's called Face Gym, and it's super cool. And it's a place you can go to in New York City. They have 2 locations, and you can get a workout for your face where, like, there's literal trainers beating up your face, kind of like getting your face sweaty and sculpting your face and doing all this amazing, cool stuff. That's cool. Obviously millennials know more about than the older demographic. But I went there. I got it done. I reported on it. I was like, this is why you guys need to check out Face Gym. Like, so it's just things that I guess are trendy and relatable to both. Oh my God, my stomach's growling. I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too.
Relatable to both a music artist, but also to, you know, things that are trending. I don't know if any of that made sense, but
no, you know what?
My mind was like going nuts.
That's very creative. But what I want to know, like, what are some questions that you think millennials want to know about?
So I think that they want to know ways that they can maybe get help with
buying a house.
This is something I haven't broken into yet, but this is the ideas that I have. Because I'm a millennial, I want to know how can I like save up when I'm doing freelance? What's the best way to save up and, you know, be able to buy an apartment or rent an apartment? Like, because there's all these things that I feel like I need to do as a millennial. Like, I need to create all this content that costs money. So editing things and buying the editing software and getting the right camera equipment and making that content look good, finding possible sponsors. Like this, I'm just talking about myself personally. This is stuff that I find as a millennial, someone who is doing freelance work, someone who is basically saying, I don't want a 9 to 5, but I need to make this money. How can I make this money? How can I make this money and save this money? How can I, so I definitely want to do a money episode because I do get a lot of questions being like, Allie, do something about like, how can I, I don't know, just things about money, like with student loans,
yeah.
So that's a big thing. A lot of my friends have to pay, are $20, $30, $50,000 in debt. How can
That's the millennial mortgage, student loans.
Yeah, like how can I balance this job, save up to pay rent, and then also like get this down? Like how can I pay for my student loans? So it's a lot of stuff that I want to dive into with people who clearly know more about it, because I don't know more about it, even though I pay for student loans and save up, and I have my own ideas about how to do all that stuff. But yeah, I think also social media is a big thing too. So I know a lot of people want to know how can they make money on social media, and especially demographics, because we are a very me-centered generation. We want to know what's the best for us, what's the fastest way for us to make money, what is the best way for us to kind of, skirt around a 9 to 5 and not have to do that and kind of do something in a more of a creative atmosphere that's going to get us attention and money. So I think social media plays heavily into that, and I want to definitely make an episode where we could talk to some social media influencers, because I know a couple who it's hard. Like, yeah, it looks glamorous because they want it to look glamorous, but it is a full-time job that they are taking on to gain partnerships and sponsorships, to get money off of, Instagram, to be able to get certain things paid for, and to also, have this image and this brand that they're promoting. So it's very tough. It's very new still. I feel like we're still figuring out the ins and outs of social media and how to make it work best for our advantage and for making it a full-time job. If that's something that some people want to do, they can do that. I want to answer questions about that. So lots of ideas happening in my brain.
That's good,
lots of different, paths that I'm going to take with this. But for now, I'm just kind of keeping it to questions about, maybe cool food that I want to explore, or cool drinks, or, cool locations, pop-up museums in New York City and stuff like that. So those are very trendy, especially when people want to go to take pictures, like with the Color Factory. Like that's a museum that features all different colors. That's really cool. So I want to go there, check that out, and my stomach wants to say something too. Hold on, my stomach's saying hi. Hey.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Feed me. Please feed
Hello.
me.
All right, I'm feeding you after. Chill out. You'll get water soon.
Yeah. So the one thing I love about your Allie Answers thing is like you're keeping your content very with a lot of variety.
Mm-hmm.
It's not monotonous, because my podcast is mostly about music, but I want to talk to other people that do other things that interest me too. But no disrespect to indie music, but I think you should take Allie Answers and do that completely on your own.
Right.
Your own entity that's yours and not tied to anything else. You know what I mean? Because I did college radio. Yeah,
it is completely mine.
Oh, yeah.
It's just they're nice enough to let me stream it on their network. But I know what you're saying, in a sense of like I could put it on YouTube, or I could like totally market it myself. I do have a website for it. It's basically just has like merch you can get, but I haven't pushed that out because I'm like, don't want to tell you to get merch on something that's not even out yet.
Yeah.
But everything is in the works so that when it is officially launched in the next week or two, like the first episode at least, then we could redirect people to finding out more about it or getting merch if they want to. Yeah. But like I said, it is on Indie because that platform is so great to have it on, and because I do love them, and they like the idea. So it could help having them as a background for potential sponsorship as well.
That's also
with their
true
numbers.
too. But I just don't want you to be in a situation where it's like, oh, you did it without this platform, you wouldn't. Alley Answers wouldn't exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
no,
I've been
I brought
told
the
that
idea
before
to them.
in college.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if you're the only reason why you're able to do this because of the thing, you know, because of what we have, and that's what like kind of made me want to do this podcast because it's like nobody owns this but me. This is mine. I don't have to answer to a network.
Yes.
I'm not saying you're
No,
doing,
of
you know what
course.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know what's right for me. You know, I got to do what I want to take control of my content. You know what I mean? That's
Absolutely.
all. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
do you have a passion for music? Because you know, indie music TV was probably one of your first gigs out of college, right?
It was. It's actually so it started in college, and the way that I met them was through this woman, Donna Drake, who I interned with. I still work with currently as her associate producer for her show, which just went national.
What?
So I love her. Yeah, she's incredible. So she has the Donna Drake show, Live It Up, and I started as an intern with her when I was still in college. And back then, she was actually producing this television show inside the indie music studios. So when I was going there to work with her on her show as an intern, and now I'm AP, which is crazy. It just goes to show, you know, stay loyal to a company and you really could grow with it. But when I went as an intern to work with her, I met them because they were there, you know, the owners of the studio. And I got to talking with them and they were like, what's your background? I'm like, well, I'm, you know, doing hosting, I'm doing reporting, I'm doing television in college and all this stuff. And they're like, well, we're looking for a host. And right away, I was like, crap, you know, they're not going to hire me. I go to Oneonta. Like, it's a 4-hour drive to come back. I'm sure they're not going to pay for my, you know, gas or whatever. So it's not, I don't know if they're going to want me. So I went for the interview and they were like, yeah, no, we love you. I'm like, okay, great. Thanks. Love you too. Fantastic opportunity, but I still have to go to college. Like, I can't just be here all the time, unfortunately. And they're like, that's okay. We're going to work around your schedule.
Beautiful.
I'm like, wow. So right off the bat, that was technically my first real paying job in this industry. While I was still in college. So then I just, you know, I grew with the company. I got to host a couple of their shows. The first show was the Top 21 Countdown. So picture old school MTV with the whole, like,
you were a VJ.
You know, the VJ. Yeah,
Wow.
I was a VJ. And I was like, all right, well, this week's, here are the top 21 music videos, you know, voted by you, you know. So I took it down to from 21 to 1, obviously. And then that, it's not like that died out. It's just that new ideas, bigger ideas kind of came where that's where the focus went to. So then it became Indie Spotlight Live, where it was a live show with a live audience. So it was a little bit different, kind of big. It was, again, my first live gig with the same company where I was hosting once a month bands or music artists that were being spotlighted. So spotlit. I'm not sure. Either way, they were being focused
Yeah.
on, and they would come to the studio. They would do a live, you know, 15 to 20 minute performance based on what they had practiced, and it was awesome. Like, they absolutely killed it. After that, I would give them like a 5 to 10 minute interview, and that's, you know, where the interview skills too kind of were honed in, because, you know, I was still new to the interviewing game, and it was great. I got to really have fun with these musicians and learn about their background, and I think that's where I really cultivated my style of interviewing, just making it fun, making it relatable, making it personable, and getting their message across, you know, without me trying as a reporter to get a message out of them. You know what I mean? Like, so many interviewers try to get something out of people that they specifically just want for whatever reason. I try to let them really, like, take the platform, you know, unless, of course, I have to get something out of them. I try to really let them take a platform and run with it and make it super authentic and, like, listen to them tell their story and ask them questions on it, you know? So I got to do that with Indie Spotlight Live, and that was fantastic. And yeah, so we still do that. It's mostly in the summertime we pick that up, just for whatever reason. I don't know. I guess the bands prefer summer performances.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there you go. But yeah, so this summer we should be picking that up again. And that was great. And again, it got me really comfortable to be live.
Mm-hmm.
So so I've been working with them for quite a few years now, doing different types of hosting, interviewing, producing now. So I really grew with them as a company. So I do like music a lot. And music hosting and getting to know music artists who are now my friends as the show, I'm like, oh, I'm coming. Like, okay, for example, like Justina Valentine, she's on MTV's Wildin' Out. She actually, back when she wasn't really known, she was on Indie Music TV. That's how she was getting her, now she's like 2-point-something million, followers on Instagram. She's touring. She's really an established musician and talent, and she's everything. She's wonderful. And she's one of the stars, like a, celebrity that started on Indie Music TV. So it kind of goes to show that you really can have this like platform, you really can start. And as long as you follow your dreams and your passion, you can be where she is, or you can be bigger, or you can be as big as you want to be. So she comes on the show from time to time to kind of remind our audience that where she was and where she is now. So it's really nice that we have some musicians like that, and I've stayed close to her. And she's touring right now, so I might be going to check her out when she comes back to Long Island on April 20th. 420.
Yeah. So who else are you listening to now?
Who am I listening to on a like signed scale or unsigned?
In general.
Okay, so a couple of my favorite unsigned artists are Gina Guns, Jerry Robinson. These are people that I highly, highly recommend you check out because they are not getting as much recognition as they should, because they are super talented, if not more talented than a lot of the pop artists you're hearing, like, on the radio. I'm not going to bash anyone, but, just goes to show there's talent in people that aren't as famous. So, yeah, Jerry Robinson, Gina Guns are two of my favorite. Let's see. Let's shout out one more unsigned artist. I can't think of any. Those are my two favorite right now. As far as signed, let's see. Like people you would know. I don't know. I hate to admit that I'm like super feeling Ariana Grande right now.
Yeah,
and
her
I'm
new
not
album was
the
really
biggest, good. I'm not the biggest fan of pop. I like pop, but it's not my favorite. Actually, I like classic rock, and I like dance music. I like R&B a lot too. So
you like Kehlani? She dropped a new.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love her. I love
her. Her new mixtape was amazing.
Yeah,
so good.
So like, there's so many artists. It's hard for me because I really I do feel a lot like with music. So, and I feel like I'm very connected with music on different platforms from work and also personal life. I was a singer like growing up. I did all that stuff. I was in NYSMA, and I
did choir too.
I made songs, like I did like solo performances, and so I just always stayed in touch with music. And growing up, my mom always had the radio on, always different styles of music, and so I can't say I have a favorite genre, but with pop, I'm loving Ariana Grande. With R&B, I'm loving Kehlani. She's great.
Do you know Kelela?
With SZA is also
SZA's
great too. SZA's always great. What happened?
Kelela, you know about her?
I do and I don't. Like I heard of her more than I've heard of her songs. Do you know what I mean?
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Her songs are tear-inducing.
Yes.
They're so beautiful.
I'm so into Billie Eilish right now too.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish
her new
knows
is really
though.
Good.
Like I feel like I have been a fan of her for a little while, but I feel like lately there's been this huge hype about her.
Her album just came out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, she's fantastic. So I try to support, women. I guess me being the ultimate feminist too. Yeah, I do try to throw out a lot of women too. Musicians that I've been listening to heavily. But I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I've always been a Queen fan, and with Bohemian Rhapsody, I'm like dying to go see Queen with Adam Lambert this summer. So that's something that's on my list too, being a classic rock fan as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
So tell me about Donna Drake. Tell me about that show.
Yeah.
And how you got involved with that and your role as AP now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started as an intern in college, and it was the time when I was applying to so many internships, dude. I was like getting so frustrated and so discouraged because I was either not hearing back or I was hearing no, But here I am being in college, going into my senior year, trying to apply to the biggest things, like Fox 5 and whatever, and all these big time names in the city. And I was like, I'm gonna be in the city, it's gonna be huge. And then I'm like, all right, Allie, chill. Maybe start applying to like smaller things, maybe on Long Island, just to get your foot in the door. So that's what I did, and this was the first person that I heard back from that was like eager to talk to me. And really eager to get a feel for my background. And I felt this personal connection right away. And she called me and she's like, you got your resume, and, I really want to work with you. I'm like, wow, I'm shocked. You're on television. Like, you're a big deal and you want to work with me, and it's really cool. So I went in, I interned with her that whole summer before my senior year. We really got to know each other personally, and she really became like my second mom that summer. Because when I wasn't at home, I was spending 3, 4, 5 days a week with her, just going on shoots and seeing what she does to prepare for a shoot, or traveling with her. We went to and from the city. I've gone to Miami with her twice for the television conference. So all these things led me to want to continue to work with her even after I went back to college. So she shoots once a month in the studio, but she airs once a week on TV. So she shoots enough in that day to have enough content for the month. So it's an all-day shoot where they're like 12 hours. Guests are coming in and out. I handle the guests. I'll handle the money. I'll handle, the bookings and stuff like that. She tells me who's on before that, and I'll just confirm everything, write up some pre-interviews, get the guests comfortable, and just do the ins and outs of connecting the front room to the production room. So that's my job as AP right now. Write down all the lower thirds and stuff for the editors. But yeah, it wasn't always that way. So I would come back to her once a month to shoot with her in my senior year. And she started paying me. And she's like, you're no longer an intern. You're
That's
now,
what you want to hear.
You're now my production assistant. I was like, so cool, right? Like, because it is. It is so cool to be in college and now have these 2 paid gigs in the production, life. Like, that's what I want to do. So I had one with hosting with indie music. And then I had one with production, which was something I thought was also really cool. So, I just stayed with her. And a couple years later, obviously, she saw my loyalty and my love for, wanting to work with her, wanting to be a part of this family. And, so then I became associate producer. And with that title did come a little bit more responsibility, but I am always up for that. So it makes me feel happy knowing that I actually have things I have to do at work. I like, that's good. So it was good. It's good. It's AP now. I travel a lot with her. Or I did. I did travel a lot with her when I went to Miami those 2 times. So that was really cool. And I guess like it's great still. I love working with her. Unfortunately, I don't see her as much outside of that once a month now because I have all these other jobs that I'm now involved in. But Donna Drake is someone that I will continue to work with as much as I can because I'm just so appreciative of the initial opportunity that honestly helped to give me the other jobs that I have today. And
Donna Drake wasn't a full-time job?
No. The internship was for sure. Yeah. The internship, I was there, like I said, 4 or 5 times a week. But when I was in college, I was just traveling to the set once a month because she shoots once a month.
No, when you got the AP gig, it was not a full-time job?
Yeah, so I work with her in the studio outside of shoot dates. Now I don't do it as much, so I still carry that title, but I'll do things like not with her, but for her. You know what I mean? Okay. Like help her send emails, help her do all that stuff on my own time. But yeah, but no, it's not a full-time job. It's definitely part-time, and the studio dates, of course. But she's celebrating her 10-year anniversary on Monday.
Awesome.
So we're going to have a big party in the studio after. I can't wait. She has Duck Donuts as a sponsor, which is freaking ridiculous because they're too good for their own good, and I'm there eating donuts for 12 hours a day. So that's going to be fun Monday.
It's the dream. It's the dream. It's the dream.
I live for those days and the sponsorships that she has. But yeah, again, it's not full-time because I can't have a full-time job with her with the other things that I do.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That's
but
a blessing,
I love her.
though, because
I work
you have
with her
all
as
this-
much as I can, and I love her, and she is like family, and she's like a mentor, and yeah, so she's been fantastic for the past 3 or 4 years that I've known her, for sure. So, all good.
What type of show is this?
So it's a feel-good show. So feel-good news. So initially it was called Live It Up, but now she just went under rebranding. So now it's the Donna Drake Show, Live It Up. And that's a show that she's taking national now officially. So that's great. So she was in St. Louis. She was in Boston. She was in the tri-state area. But now she is going to be on, I won't say the channel because I'm not 100% sure if it's one or if it's a couple different ones that she'll be airing on. But yeah, she'll be national now, which is like crazy and so exciting.
It's a talk show?
So it's a talk show.
Okay.
She's the host.
Mm-hmm.
She's had celebrities on. She's had, anyone from nonprofits to local businesses to major celebrities have come through the doors, and it's fantastic. And basically, as long as they have a positive message or a story or a way for people to get involved in a positive light, she'll carry that on. No assholes, no bozos. That's actually her.
That's good.
Yeah, that's the motto that we go by.
Yeah.
Everyone in our little we call it the Live It Up family. Everyone in, the Live It Up family production crew, we're like, all right, we have someone you might want to put on the show. She's like, are they an asshole? Are they a bozo? We're like, no. She's like, all right, give them my email them, see if they want to come chat before I put them on the show. But she's really open to having basically anyone who has a good story to show or good story to tell the world. She wants to give them that platform to tell their story. And I think that's what's so unique about her is that she doesn't do it for any sort of recognition. I mean, obviously she's recognized, she's like a local celebrity, but she does it really to just showcase the good in the world. And there's so many, I know that there are talk shows that do something like that, but there are so many news outlets that don't show that enough. And so it's wonderful. Her show is always feel good. It's always it is interactive. She has a couple of correspondents. I come on as a correspondent sometimes too. But she has a couple correspondents that come on and they're like, they'll bring on like new games or something like, okay, here's how the audience can get involved and stuff like that. So I really like her style, and it's never boring. It's never the same. And she, her interview style is very conversational. So it's always super comfortable for the people to come on and talk. So it's great.
When is it usually on?
So it's on 6:30 a.m. on the local CBS affiliate. So that is Channel 10 for like Cablevision, something like that. Yeah.
Is it on
So-
like the weekends?
Yeah, so that's 6:30 a.m. on Saturday mornings.
Okay.
So I'm not usually up, so I do like DVR that.
Yeah.
My mom's like, "Oh, you were on today." I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool. I shouldn't have slept through it." But
Yeah.
yeah, but now I'm not sure. Like, that's why I didn't want to say it before. I'm not sure if that's going to be changing now that she's national. So going
Right.
forward, it might be different. But I'll let you know. So,
Okay.
but right now, yeah, 6:30s on Channel 10 for New York. It could be, I think. It was like the old Channel 55, like the WLNY.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So now they kind of like rebranded that, made it a sister affiliate. So it might, whatever, Channel 10, something like that. I don't know.
So-
I should know, but
Yeah. You only work for the for the show anyway.
I know, right?
So tell me about your modeling gigs.
Yeah. So I actually do a couple. I've done a couple commercial work, which is really cool. I was in the Simon Malls Christmas commercial as a mom. I'm like, I'm 24. I'm a hot mom. It's so funny. So that was fun, and I do a couple like side gig stuff. I was in a commercial too that was for this spine company, like neuro company, where they help you with spine injuries and brain injuries and stuff like that. So I played like the receptionist, and I played like someone by the pool. It's just different jobs that I can get. Background work. I've done a couple background work for a couple shows. So it's nothing major because I'm not represented. So everything I get by myself, just kind of being my own advocate, which I know a lot of people do. So that's been really cool. I love acting. So anytime I can get my foot in that door, do a little, background work or whatever, I do that as much as possible. Also, I was the kind of spokesperson for the salon on Long Island. So, anytime they were doing giveaways or whatever, it was like my face with like a hairstyle or something. So like little things like that are what I've been involved in. And then I also am a part of Stets. So they're a modeling agency only for women, which is really cool. And they're fitness and fitting. So I am a fit model, and essentially that means that let's say there's a bathing suit company, right? And they are looking for someone with specific size for measurements, right? And they want like this arm size and this whatever. So they're going to forward that to these fitting agencies and be like, okay, we're looking for someone like that. And let's say they pull someone with my exact sizes. Then I have to go to the casting, and basically I act like a life-size mannequin. And I tell them what works, what doesn't, and whatever. And then when they push it out to production for real-life people like me who want to actually fit into these clothes but might have, like, muscly arms or, like, muscly thighs but have a little waist, like, things like that. So I do that with them, too, which is some modeling stuff that I've gotten into, which is great because I like knowing that, like, I'm making a difference for someone who has my sizes, who's going to, like, feel comfortable in this outfit or this bathing suit or whatever, So I do that, and I do some background work with acting. And
what was the last acting gig you had?
The last acting gig that I had, a month ago, I actually went to Jersey and worked on a shoot for this vape company. So it was for people that I knew, so it wasn't like some weird company or whatever. But they wanted to showcase their new vape shop and their new clothing and stuff. So I just did some voiceover work with them, and I did their commercial as like I pretended to like kind of showcase all the outfits that they had and show like their hookah and whatever, and that was really cool. So that was like last month. It was just something fun that I did on the weekend, which was just cool. So
what was probably the biggest role you ever had?
The biggest role I've ever had, let's see, I feel like there's one. I gotta be honest with you. I feel like I don't know. I really can't say that I've had the biggest role I've ever had, because my definition of that is, I guess, the one that I did when I was like playing the receptionist or whatever, because a lot of people
For what show?
Even though I didn't, no, it was just for the commercial. It was just for a quick commercial, and it was on like News 12 and whatever. So it was big in a sense that my family, because everyone like on Long Island and my friends and stuff would be like, "You're on TV" and stuff like that. So I thought that was funny. I wouldn't necessarily say it was big, but it was funny that people were like, "You're on TV and this is so funny," and whatever. So I guess I would say that one was a lot of fun. And it was a lot of fun because when the first time I saw it on TV, I was getting my nails done. And the woman, she didn't care that I was on TV, but I was just like, "Oh my gosh, that's me." And she's like, "Wait, what? On TV?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool." And I was like, "Yeah, it is pretty cool." So I guess that was kind of big because that was my first kind of like TV thing. I haven't spoken really on TV because I am not union. So that's something I'm trying to get, actually, is my SAG card.
SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah. So I had a role where I was speaking. They found out I wasn't union, and they cut it. So that was for something that was supposed to be on HBO. It actually never ended up being on HBO, so I'm kind of happy about it. Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I wish them luck and everything, but I was like, well, I wasn't speaking in it anyway, so whatever.
So to have a speaking role, you need to be union?
Yeah, so
Really?
for union jobs.
Oh.
So for union jobs, you
Right.
need to be union, obviously,
Okay.
unless they pick you for some reason and they're like, you had this look we want, or like our actress last minute dropped out and you're the closest thing to her measurements or whatever. Like, if you do this, we'll sign you right here on the spot. So that's something that obviously doesn't happen often, but if it does happen to someone, that's great. I think you have to. I don't have the schedule where I can always be doing background work every day, but I think that if someone wants to get union, that's great advice, is to keep doing background as much as possible, because you're eventually going to be offered the opportunity to do speaking, and they're going to have to give you right there on the spot. I forgot what it's called. So you need 3 of them. Whatever. You need like 3 of these cards or these sheets or whatever to be able to join SAG. You can get one for having 1 speaking line or whatever. So yeah, so that's something that I love to do. Acting is fun. I haven't been able to do it, I guess, in a sense that's considered really big, but oh my God, what am I saying? I was in 2 short films. I'm like totally blacking out.
Me too.
Yeah, those were fun. One of them actually went on to win. I don't know if they won, like what awards they won, but they got a lot of recognition in film festivals, and so that was really cool.
What was your role? What was the name of the
Antithesis,
movie?
it was called.
Okay.
And I totally forgot I had like a speaking role in that and everything, because it was like 2 years ago. That's why.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of more recent things I've done. My role was the girl. I did have a speaking part.
You
It
were
was
the girl?
cool.
That was your role?
I was the girl. No, I had a name. I actually don't remember what the name was. You can look it up. Antithesis is what it was called. Or antithesis. Wow, dude, I have no idea. That shit was long ago. But so there's this guy who had like social anxiety, and he always went to pursue this one girl who was like nice to him and whatever, all this stuff, and then comes to find that she had a boyfriend, and you know, it's not like she was leading him on, but she was just kind of helping him break through his social anxiety, and he took it as like, maybe you're into me, I'm also into you. So he finally had that courage to kind of like speak to her and whatever, and that's when he found out she had a boyfriend. So later on that day, he's in the library. I pull out a book. He sees that I'm reading that same, social anxiety book. We get into a conversation, and then the rest is supposed to be like, well, we end up together. So yeah. So that was what that was about.
Okay.
It was cool. It was shot well.
It was a speaking
I
role,
enjoyed
right?
doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
We did talk, even though it's a library. You guys shouldn't do that. Rude. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Wow.
It was cool.
So
I did
one
that and I
of
did in
your
college.
endeavors that I'm like still kind of confused about is reward the fan. So
Yeah.
tell me about your role and how you got involved with this and what it actually is.
So believe it or not, all the bullshit that I've said up until now, basically, this is, I guess, what you could say my main job is. So all of that has been stuff I've done on the side or wanted to do or whatever. This is actually something I do most of the week. So Reward the Fan is a live trivia game show. You download it on your app and download the app on your phone, and it's free. So you guys got to do it. Everyone listening, download Reward the Fan. I mean, yes, I'm shamelessly plugging it because I am the host, but also it is a really cool game. So you download it. It's totally free to make an account, sign up, whatever. You make a username, and then from there, pretty much every single night except Fridays right now, we have a game. We have a live game where people can open the app and tune in for free and tune in live, and the host. So I switch off with a couple different hosts just because I can't commit to 6 nights a week. I have the nets, I have other things. So whoever the host is that night will be live, and they'll shoot the shit with you. They'll do an intro. They'll explain how the game works. You answer 10 trivia questions based on that night's theme. And as long as you get all 10 questions correct, then you win the game. So you win reward dollars, and basically reward dollars are, so let's say you get 500 reward dollars for winning. Whoever wins and gets all 10 questions correct splits those 500 reward dollars, right? So reward dollars can be redeemed to actually purchase tickets on our app, because we're like we're like a Ticketmaster, but we're not affiliated with Ticketmaster in any way. I don't want to say that. But you can buy tickets on our site and app, tickets for, any live events.
Wow.
So essentially you're playing to win tickets to your favorite live events. That's the ultimate prize. So yeah, you play live. It's a trivia game show. It's 10 questions based on the theme of the night. Monday night we have music questions. Tuesday, Thursdays we have sports-related questions. Wednesday, Saturdays we have golden ticket questions. So that's a little bit of sports, movie, and Broadway. And then some nights we have Broadway questions. So it's really, really cool. And then at the end, okay. So now, you answered all 10 questions correct, right? You and the other winners get to split the reward dollars, but then we have a randomized ticket lottery. So all the names in the winner circle who got all 10 questions correct will be run in our randomized lottery on a computer, and the computer will randomly pick one winner to win tickets for that night. So let's say we did NCAA tournament the other week when that was going on, and we gave away March Madness tickets, like in the beginning of it. And it was really, really cool. And now we give away, like Ariana Grande. We had Ariana Grande theme night, so we gave away tickets to her concert. We give away tickets to MLB. So let's say sports night. You could pick any sports in your area. So this is not just New York. You could live anywhere in the United States, and as long as you win, you'll be prompted with a list of events in your area that you could choose from. So it's really cool. It's completely free. It's really fun to test your knowledge. I feel like I'm now packed with these random trivia questions I have just from doing the research for the script and hosting the shows and stuff. So it's funny. Sometimes I'll just pull them out and be like, oh, in 1933, yada yada. My boyfriend's like, oh my God. I'm like a Snapple cap over here.
So if I download the app and you go live, am I interacting with you or it's just...
Yeah. So we're working on comments right now. We don't have comments. So you can't comment, but you can go to our live tailgates, which happen an hour before the show. So it's 8 p.m. Eastern are all the shows, except for on Saturday, it's 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Our tailgate on Facebook Live happens an hour before each show. So 7 p.m. Eastern is the time we can interact, the time I'll give away 2 answers, actually. So it's a little gift for the people who tuned into our Facebook Lives. It's just something bonus you don't have to do. But if you want to ask any of the hosts some questions, get to know them personally, it's our time to kind of go off the script and talk to our fans. So it's a good opportunity for people to tune in. And,
how many people watch?
So we get daily? 2,000 to 3,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it just started. It started up late last summer too. So I mean, it's been growing and growing, and we're so lucky to have fans who are so loyal and love the show enough to keep coming back even when it's such a new technology. It's such a new thing that we're doing, that we do have to undergo these changes with updating the app or some tech issues that happen sometimes, which are just going to happen, So we do appreciate all the loyalty and support that we still get from the fans who bear with us in those moments. So, but 99% of the time it goes smooth, so it's good.
But how did you get hooked up with Reward the Fans?
So, I just have my demo reel out there, and I was like, well, I do hosting, and I was already involved with the Long Island Nets at this point. So, I found the gig from some Indeed or something.
Wow,
something
really?
that you wouldn't expect, right? And I'm like, all right, I'll apply to it. Why not? They called me back right away. I went through a series of kind of intense interviews because they really want to make sure that you're good on the spot, which is great because that's where my improv background kind of played into a little. They want to make sure you're good live, which is great because that's where my Indie Spotlight Live background came into. So it was all these things that I was already comfortable doing and have done before that they were like, okay, we like you, and we like that you're authentic to you. I'm not trying to be anyone else when I host. I'm just me. Sometimes I slip over my words or I say something that's questionable, and I'm like, sorry guys, I'm having a brain fart. Let's move on to question 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think people appreciate that. They definitely appreciate the authenticity that comes with you, especially since we do have a couple different hosts. It's nice that every host brings their own thing. You know what I mean? So I like that a lot. So yeah, I think I got it through Indeed, and then just through basically selling myself through these, be like, hey, here's why you should hire me. Through these interviews, they did hire me. It's been fantastic. I absolutely love this company. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, I'm genuinely friends with my coworkers. Like, we hang out outside of work. Like, this is something, like, we text each other. We take each other's Instagram pictures for each other. Like, we are just such a tight-knit group. And yeah, it's a great company. So I love doing that. That's what I primarily do. I love being live. I love dressing up, wearing different dresses. That's also the fun of hosting. It's like, I had to make money so I could literally buy new outfits every time. I'm like, oh my God, that's nuts. You don't think of those things, but.
How often do you host?
I host 3 to 4 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes, like, it depends, you know, with my schedule. Now that the Nets are done, I'll go back to probably 4 times a week. They also switch with, like, different games. Sometimes it's 2 games a day, and I'm there for, like, all day. So it just depends, you know. Like I said, we're still new. We're still growing. We're still figuring out what works. We're still figuring out what, you know, works best with the times of the game. So sometimes we play around with, like, having an additional 6 p.m. game in addition to our 8 p.m. game. So, yeah, so I'm down for whatever. I'm like, you let me know. Here are my dates I'm available. And, yeah, so I'm there like 3 or 4 days a week.
So with all the stuff you have going on, Allie Answers, Donna Drake, Reward the Fan, Nets.
The Nets.
So what is, like, where does your passion lie, and where does your priorities, like, where do you prioritize the most?
So I think it's hard because Reward the Fan, I guess, would be my number one priority because financially that's what's the most stable.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we need that. Like, even though my creativity side is beaming with ideas, and that's why I love Allie Answers so much, I don't always have the opportunity to be doing something for Allie Answers like every day because I just don't have that. You know, I'm not being paid for that yet. Hopefully, right? So unfortunately, it's like that can't be a priority yet, but I do see that being a priority very soon. Reward the Fans definitely priority because I love it. I love being able to write what I want in a script and, you know, be funny and improv, and of course, like I said, I like knowing how much I'm making at the end of the day too, because again, gotta pay those student loans, gotta save up for that city apartment. So
there you go.
That's it. So I think right now that the Nets are over, I'm going to have some different priorities with them as the season gets closer again, and ideas to work with them in the off season. But Reward the Fan, showing up, always having energy, always giving it my all is definitely my priority. And Allie Answers, learning to organize myself and learning to organize my creative ideas in a way that I can generate quality content with Allie Answers is a priority too. So I guess those are different, but they're both at the top of my list.
Yeah, I think you should, because for me, like, I do this twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I'll squeeze in a couple more because I know
Right.
like I need to make money first.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important for all of us, especially creative types, to have something that's us, because we usually spend our week or weekdays working for somebody else, which is fine because that's capitalism. But
Right.
we have to have our thing that's ours.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Allie Answers is yours.
Exactly.
And when is it launching?
So it's within the next week or two, and I'm so bad, Peter. I'm like dude. I have like 65 Instagrams because I'm just
yeah.
new idea, new Instagram, new idea, new Instagram. So no, I need to shut it the fuck down, and I need to focus on like 2 Instagrams.
2.
So
Done
I think I want to promote something quickly. Well, Ali.Melendez is my personal. I'm always on that, always engaging with people on that. That's where I have all my stories and whatever. So that's fun content because it's mostly personal mixed with a little bit of work. So that's cool, but I'm thinking of putting Allie Answers on my Ali Melendez media page. So that's where I put all my Reward the Fan promos, all like little funny commercials I've done, all just basically like, you know, demo stuff. that goes on that Instagram page. So I'll probably be posting about it both on my personal page and Ali Melendez Media when it officially drops, and then Indie Music TV is going to do an official like launch. So I'll be sure to let you know when that happens.
Please let me know.
Yes,
Please.
of course, and that's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I didn't even talk about this episode. It's great. So it features Carrie Wicks. She's from like a funk rock soul band called Carrie and the Cats, and she is fantastic.
I've heard the name being floating around on the
Yeah.
island.
She's real cool. So you'll get to know her a little bit. We'll do a little interview. She loves steak, and so do I. And that's part of the reason we went to Teller's American Chop House on Long Island, New York. So I don't know why I said Long Island, New York, as if like no one knows that. Okay, whatever. So so I was like, she's cool because she's really in tune with her Long Island community. So is Teller's. Like, they're really in tune with having the same people come in and out of the steakhouse, but also they want to shift their they want to shift it a little bit more to younger demographic. So that's where I come in. Carrie's around my age. They have a new bespoke whiskey that they want to showcase to like my demographic. So that's where I kind of put two and two together, and they're known for their steaks. So I was like, all right, me and my girl Carrie, we're gonna eat steaks and we're gonna have a great conversation at Teller's. Then we're gonna showcase why our demographic should care about hanging out at Teller's on a weekend and why it's not your average steakhouse for like, the older age. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. You're gonna see us throwing back some whiskeys and eating some good steak and having a good conversation.
There we go.
That's it.
So what's the next step for Ali Melendez?
The next step for me, wow. My next step is actually, believe it or not, I am taking on another job, but that's only because it might be seasonal. So with the switch off of the Nets. So that's my next step right now, is to take on something to sort of fill in the gap of where the Nets was, because I'm someone who needs to stay busy. That's just me. I'm active. My brain is going 24/7 and I need to keep up with it, So taking on another job, hopefully one that I can talk about soon. If pray if all goes through. And so that's my next thing, but definitely focusing more on Ali Answers.
Thank you.
So pushing out, I want to do 5 more episodes by the end of the year. That's my goal. So I'm going to sit down with my production team, which is crazy that I could even say that, but my team, and we're really going to bang out some ideas for shows and stuff like that. So that's my next big focus, just to be able to really work with what I have and also work with hopefully this new job. So
Yes. Ali Melendez,
That's
level
it.
26, My Little Underground. I'm Peter A. Where can people follow you, Ali?
Yes, so like I said before, at ali.melendez, Ali, A-L-L-Y, like ally, I think. So there you go.
You got a website too, right?
Yes, I do. It's
Yeah.
alimelendez.com. You guys can go check that out. I'm also on YouTube. Actually, a big creative jump I'm going to start doing is YouTube channel. So I'm going to start, I guess, vlogging in a sense where it's not going to be in your face right away. I'm not going to be like, I'm a vlogger, boom, 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 slime. No, dude, I'm not going to do that. But I am going to definitely start to be more present online, be more engaging, because I think that's where the future is with this industry, and that's where I want to take it.
Absolutely.
So, YouTube, Ali Melendez, alimelendez.com, ali.melendez on Instagram. I'm not on Twitter per se. Like, I have a creepy lurker, account
Really?
that I'm like never on.
Oh, I
Like,
thought
I made
I thought you
one.
had like somebody stalking you.
No. Sorry. Like, I have one. I'm just like, I'm so not involved that it's just there. Like, I'm the one that's creepy. You know what I mean? In the Twitter sphere. So,
right.
So yeah, Ali Melendez all around. I'm there. And you can follow me back. I'll follow you back. If you have any questions or whatever, you want to know maybe like how you can get involved with producing content, or how you can get involved with hosting, I give the advice that I was given. So that's so that's something I could offer you if you want.
Ali Melendez, level 26, My Little Underground. It's Peter A. Follow the show, follow me at MLU Pod, Twitter, Instagram, at Peter A Radio, Twitter, Instagram, and PeterARadio.com. Subscribe to My Little Underground, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, and wherever else you get podcasts. I'm out.